Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry. I ended up goat screaming beforehand, and honestly, we're starting like this. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Falskallan Nights. Welcome to Dire Bear. We're gonna start ourselves off with a couple of announcements. Normally, we'd have a full showcase of shows throughout the week, but a couple of them have taken a break. So for Sundays and Saturdays, the games for Varenheim and Stolen Cities are on break for now. They should be back by the end of the month. Uh, Juju, you guys thinking of coming back on the end of the month?
We should be back on the 31st.
On 31st of October, Spoopy Day. All right, that's right. You guys have said you were going to be dressing up for that, right?
Yes, and doing some
Yep.
kind of Halloween episode that Trail has planned. We don't know much about it.
Nope.
Cool.
All we know,
I
we're
like.
jumping to level 10 for it. Just for that thing.
Excellent. I
Oh
like
no.
it. I cannot wait. On Mondays, though, we've got Heath showcasing the troubleshooters, his World War II themed era stylings, where America doesn't exist yet things are happening all and around Europe. It's actually quite an interesting show. Tuesdays is World at War with with our DM Jason. Wednesday nights are with this guy. Thursdays are with A Knight's Ransom with Maddie being the DM. One second. Got something in my throat for a second.
Greek pantheon.
With the Greek pantheon, running through all the mythologies there. She also put in a caravan of people there that are slightly resembling to some fairly popular clones on that nondescript mouse channel. But I also would like to thank Heath at Lucky Dice Cafe in Huntsville, Alabama, and for D&D Beyond for sponsoring our show. And with that, we're going to go into tonight's game. Previously, the group had entered a meeting with the mayor and the high-ranking associates in Menestad, coming to the realization that they're just as blind to the situation as everyone else is. So the group split off into two to find information. One group into the library, the other to investigate the town. Not finding any information, the group starts distrusting the Brandish bards and the government. Having another quest to be set off on, they decided to take the time and do that. But now with Menestad behind them, the group looks forward to completing a hill giant problem in the neighboring town of Menestar. But along the way, they encountered a pride of griffins looking like they're headed right in their direction. What will they do? And with that, we begin. Are you guys you guys have cast another trace on who has the inspiration from the elderflower they have not used yet.
I believe I used mine. I'm
I
not sure
used
about
mine as
everyone else.
well.
Okay, just want to keep track of who has what.
Yeah,
Exhaustion.
I don't think I used mine.
I think the two of you still have it.
Okay. Yeah, I think Halsterian did not use his.
No, I didn't.
Okay, cool. So you guys, just a reminder, you guys still have those. And you guys are in the middle of a field. There are rocks shooting up everywhere. This is a bit of a rocky terrain. And what you're seeing is immediately three griffins that were flying and they were coming right for you. I would like all of you to make perception checks.
Mm. 12.
11.
8.
Oh boy. I have a 25 in total.
There it
Yeah.
is. It was
All
like
right.
low, low, lower. There you go, bringing it up. Bryony, you have an understanding of how birds of prey are, and you can kind of discern that, like, you know when they're going in for an attack. They look like they're coming right at you with that same formation.
Mm,
So
Can't really duck anywhere.
you will have a bunch of rocks in around you jutting out of the fields, so they're substantially high enough that you could hide in behind them.
All right. I grab as many of them by the shirt as I can and pull them behind some large rocks.
All right, as you do, they swap right by. You hear the screech of the griffins, and I would like all of you to roll for initiative.
Ah!
Wah.
Well, there's the
I would
good
like
roll.
all of you
Okay.
to. I would like all of you to wah for initiative.
I should wham more often. I got a nat 20.
19 total.
Okay, hold on. Let me actually get organized here. Righty. So, initiative. All right, so 20 for Halsterian.
21 total.
Got a 22 for initiative.
20. Jesus. Okay, 25. 25 to
Aye.
20. Okay, let's do this again. 25 to 20.
22.
22. 22. Spleen. 21 is Hal.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay, 20 to 15.
19.
19.
15.
19.
Oh, not bad.
And
Mm.
Not 15.
uh-huh.
I don't remember if I had mage armor on, but I do have a spell slot missing, so I'm gonna assume that was a yes.
Yes, you did. I
Yes.
remember that.
Mhm.
Okay.
I remember you did that, so you have it up. Okay, they fly around. They fly around. They're looking right at you guys. And Spleen, your move.
From being dragged and
Yeah, this is a
Wow.
battle map as well, so we can be on roll 20 for this.
Yep. So I'm guessing I'm behind this rock.
Yeah.
I guess we're positioned already.
Uh, you guys can move because you guys decided to do something like that or around the fact.
Yeah. And she just moved us out of the way. Okay.
That works for me.
So
Let's see. Movement. I do have a movement of 40. So, boop-a-da-bop, boop, 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 boop-a-doop, boop, boop. She's going to duck and run quickly towards the back of this rock. It's like 35 feet around there.
yeah, these griffins are in the air, and just kind of placeholder until they start coming in.
Okay.
So
How far
just
up in
letting
the
you
air?
know. How high up in the air? They're about.
Mhm.
Make a survive nature check.
9.
9. They're pretty high up.
Man,
Uh,
that's pretty high up.
It's pretty high up. You're having a hard time judging it.
Mm. Okay, so I'm going to then probably wrong tab. There we go. Of ready and attack with the battle axe. If they get like if they try to swoop down at me at a distance where I can hit.
Perfect. You're holding your action for when they come into battle range with you.
I'm staying close to the rock so I have at least something to
Yep,
shield away from.
you're doing that. All right. That's your turn.
Yep.
Cool. Cool. Halsterian, you're up.
All right. Well, I am actually going to hold my turn as well, actually. But I'm going to hold blindness deafness until they get close.
Okay. Uh, make a with the general perception checks that you guys had, you can notice that the one in the center is a fair bit bigger. Not much difference to make like an actual sizing change, but the one in the middle is fairly bigger, and like the colorations of it look more older, like a deeper
Mhm.
sets of blue instead of like a pride, a lion's
Right.
pride like mane. All right, so you're holding blindness
Yeah,
deafness.
I will get closer as well. I might even move over here. Yes.
Cool, excellent. You get yourself closer. As you're doing that, one of them breaks right off and flies right in. So comes right in and is gonna go in for the back there, but that's as far as it can get. It's still in the air, but it's swooping right down, so it's fairly lower than the rest. It looks to be about 15 or 20 feet off the ground. And with that, Howard.
I'm gonna look around and see that Spleen doesn't really have much for ranged weaponry, and I am going to haul my butt over to her.
You just throw me.
I was gonna say
I'm not that big. That's on Sunday.
spleen. Spleen doesn't have ranged weaponry. Solution: make her ranged weaponry.
Or give her a longer
Fast
range.
call special.
I'm going to touch her on the back and cast Dragon's Breath on her at 3rd level.
Oh,
Spleen,
whoa.
this won't reach them when they're too high up, but when they get close, you know the drill. Breathe.
Yeah.
And that'll be my
No, little.
turn.
What element? Is there a chosen element or is it just fire?
I need to go look at them because I don't remember all the choices.
Andy spell. Hold on. Dragon. Breath. Nope. 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 That's not it either. What?
Let's go with lightning.
Whoa.
This ain't Pokemon.
Eh.
I did not even think
Pikachu.
about that, but yes.
You run right up. You touch her in the back. You touch her right on the shoulder as you normally do. She
Stop
accepts,
on
and
her
as
head.
she does her nod, she says yeah, and as she does, a little lightning crackle just comes right out. It's prepped and ready to go, and you know it's accepted. That's your turn,
Yes.
Bryony.
Okay. Wow, y'all just left me over here. Uh,
It's a touch spell, sorry.
I purely because I haven't had the chance to use it yet and I've wanted to, I'm gonna cast Meld into Stone.
Yeah.
I know you're excited for that.
Oh my god.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I'm gonna meld into this stone right here, and the way I was picturing it is, you know that Homer Simpson gif of him like going back into a shrub?
Yep.
That's what it looks like. Just
I
Just
love that.
slowly noping out.
All right. So Halcyon moves away. Spleen moves away. Howard moves away. You're just like, I don't want none of this. So doing a the magical hand symbols and understanding how stone works through your druidic style, you do this. You hit the stone, and as soon as you do, you put your back to it and meld right right through it. You're now encased in stone. Just let me know if I trigger anything by getting close to it or not, whatnot.
let me look at the spell again.
Yeah, it's just it's a wall of text for me, and I want to keep on moving.
Oh yeah, no worries.
But
Yeah,
that is
none of my presence remains visible or detectable. But I can't see what's outside it. But I can cast spells on myself while in the stone.
cool. Right on. And with that, you put yourself back into the stone. You're ready to go, and it's Mama Bird's time. This larger griffin comes right in, lands on right on top of the rock, and immediately just rakes both its claws down. Oh, which one does it go for? I'm gonna roll a d6. 1 to 2, Spleen. 2 to 4, Howard. 5 to 6, Halsterian. Halsterian does a 15 hit.
It does.
Okay, so that'll be 2 attacks that go through. Da, 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 da. And the last one.
With
So
my
it rakes right down. It starts with the beak, but you move right out of the way. But as you do, it lands its claws left and right inside you there. So you'll take first attack is 11 damage,
all right.
and the second will be another 11.
Whew. And this is all before my blindness deafness goes off.
No, it wouldn't. Uh, the attacks would not have gone. You have to cast blindness, deafness because that was your held action. They came into range. Uh, Cast it. What do I got to do?
All right. So It needs to make a con save
Con
of
save with
15.
a 14,
15.
15.
Is that all of them or just the one?
Just the one.
It fails.
Oh.
Yeah, it rolled a 9. Okay, so what? So is it only just for one attack?
It is. First I have to choose blinded or deafened. I'm going to go with blinded.
I
Uh,
figured you would do that.
yeah, at the end of its turn, however, it makes another con save throw.
Okay, so the blindness is for the turn.
And otherwise for 1 minute. Sorry.
Otherwise, for 1 minute. So blindness, it can still make the attacks, but it's going to be at disadvantage.
Yep.
So I'm just going to go with this round was that missed you with all 3 attacks,
Okay.
just so that we're not going to go through that again, and I'm going to do something unduly fair to you.
Okay.
But with that, it lands, throws its beak down as the blindness comes in, throws the beak down, completely misses you, Halsterian, and starts swinging wildly, and you guys are just getting out of the way. As that happens, it doesn't know what's happening. It starts flapping its wings and launches right up about 15 feet.
All right.
And because it also has the flyby ability, you do not get opportunities of attack with it. With that is the other Griffin. This one comes right in, and lands right on the ground. Looks like it's going to be running right at you, but that was its movement. And it goes back to Spleen.
Did you make another
Oh,
save for the one Griffin?
that's a natural 20. It's going to save.
Oh. Well,
Right.
Well, I tried.
it saved you some.
Yeah,
All right.
saved my
Where
butt.
was? So the mom is there. Is she where?
It's 15
Is
feet in the air.
She's 15 feet high. She launched right up as soon as she realized she couldn't see anything.
So you can get her with the breath.
I want
It's
to
a
climb
15-foot
on
cone.
top of Hal. And so that probably gets me up maybe another 2 or 3 feet. So I'm gonna
I'm,
scale up. You might feel little pricks of her claws, and her gauntlet, and uh, it's just gonna come up and what was it? Let me look at that spell
I
and
would
let
like
out.
I would I would
Go ahead.
like for you to make a dexterity check and for Steve to make a strength check.
oh no.
This is just to make sure that you can hold Spleen, and let's just be honest, she isn't.
Natural 20. So Dex is 23.
Yeah, you're climbing easily.
14.
14. Spleen isn't all that heavy. So you wobble a little bit as she's climbing, and it's awkward and it hurts a little, but you're holding yourself fine.
Steady, steady, how? Hold still. And she's gonna take a big inhale with some static coming from her mouth and let out a breath of lightning.
Right, the lightning. Okay, so at a spell attack or
I think that's
It
a
is
save on your end.
Dexterity saving throw.
dex
15.
save.
Yes.
It makes it
So it's half
with a
damage.
17.
Damage.
Half damage, you're rolling 4d6.
Okay, I remember that. Now I add that. Uh, 22, half 11.
So as you do, you uh, you climb right up. Halsterion's having a hard time holding you up, but it's okay. He's holding his own. You do your screaming raw. As it does, lightning just cracks right up your throat, and you everyone else who's looking sees the blue come from the throat and just a shooting star just comes right up. As it does, the griffin flapping its wings just senses it, narrowly dodges out of the way, but you still clip it right where you think the shoulder would be. And you just hear "Ah!" as it keeps going. So that's 11 damage. Let's do this. All right. Uh, is that your turn?
Um, actually. I am then now going to hop onto the how tall is this rock? If I can hop
It's
off of him and
it's
then
about it's about 10 feet, so you'd probably have to jump and scale it, but it would be a very easy.
okay, I would like to scale to the top of that rock.
Okay, you jump off, you do that, and that would be your movement for the.
Yep. Okay.
Okay,
Cool.
so that's your turn. Halsterian, you just had a goblin climb all over you and then have a lightning strike fire above your head.
Yes, I'm going to have to sleep with a fan on from now on. Hmm. I'm going to go with an old standby. Eldritch Blast.
Hey,
Ooh. Uh, hmm. All right, so that one is a 12.
that will not hit.
All right, and the second bolt is 15.
That'll hit.
All right, for 8 damage.
8 damage. All right. As Spleen jumps off, you recognize you see an opportunity as it happens, so you throw your hand right out, the first one, and it just fires wide as the griffin's kind of dodging out of the way but getting hit by the lightning. And you make the course correction and like there, throw it right up. It lands dead center right in the chest. This what color is your magic?
I've always pictured it white with a off-white with a bit of orange.
Off white with a bit of orange, so like anime Kamehameha style.
Oh, I thought that was blue.
Well,
But
but
yes,
but with orange.
yes, exactly.
It, redirected with orange. So you do that, you throw it right up, and you throw the creamsicle colors right at it.
Creamsicle.
And that was 8 damage.
That's right.
Halsterian creamsicles for the win.
Alrighty. Any movement? Bonus action?
Let me see here. Um, in terms of movement, I think I am going to back up. That is not the right command. There we go. I'm going to back up, back over to here. Now that they're a bit closer. That'll be it.
Excellent. And now it's the pink griffin's turn. So it finally lands in behind, and Bryony, I'm just gonna put you into the stone more.
Cool.
Uh, you're in stone. We know this. We all know this. It lands. It looks. It still doesn't see you. It's confused as ever living hell. So it runs around. Oh look! There's
Oh
a
my.
Hal.
Oop.
As it does, it's gonna make an attack. Does a 20 hit?
I'm afraid so.
All right. As that happens, it it comes around the corner, immediately sees you, rears its head back, snaps forward with its beak, lands right onto your left arm because you weren't expecting it to happen. You take 11 points of damage.
Oof.
And then it's going, as it does that, it's going to take its left claw and just do a side rake against you. That is 15.
Does still hit.
Alrighty. And with its second attack, it rakes you right up. And you take 8 points of damage.
All right, but I am going to use my reaction to Hellish Rebuke.
Do it. I have to make a wisdom save?
Dex.
A dex save. Okay, let's do
Mm-hmm.
this. Right on. That's a 17. That's a 19
Oh,
total. I'm sorry. I am actually kind of rolling well. I'm kind of surprised.
well, it does still take half damage, so I guess all I get out of my mouth is none of that. And let's see here. Where'd my D10 go? Okay, so it takes 5 damage.
5 damage? Hey, you know what? 5 damage is better than none. Howard.
Indeed.
Oh, that's it makes it comes in rakes, and as you say that, all you hear is "Rah! Rah!" just just the feeling of having that sort of firepower come right back at it, not realizing it. Shakes his head. Now, Howard, it's your turn.
Seeing Hal getting raked up, Spleen's probably okay. We're gonna haul ass over there, see if we can help him. And
Oh, I'm stupid. I needed one more D10 for that one. My
Oh,
apologies.
whoops.
throw it in there.
All right, so 13. So that'd be do you round up for the halves or down? I can never
Down.
remember that. Down, so that'd be
Almost
6.
everything is down.
So another 6.
No, just going from 5 to 6 damage, so one more.
Oh, okay.
I didn't roll very high.
Oh,
I was like, oh, buddy. Cool. Right on. Now, Howard.
we're going to reach out and cast Frost Fingers at first level away from Hal. So the cone goes outwards towards the Griffin.
Yeah, and you're an evocation specialist, so you know how to
Yeah.
weave it anyway, so it's okay.
So it
Right on.
needs a Constitution saving throw of 15.
It fails. Explain to me what it does.
So it is essentially like Burning Hands, but cold damage instead. A cone of cold erupts, not the actual cone of cold, that's much stronger, and does 12 damage.
12 damage. All right, so that's you run right up. You see Halstarian get pecked at and clawed, and you recognize Spleen's fine. You run right back to that rock, and as you do, you whip around, throw your hands right up, do the signs, right forward, and the frost comes right from your hands, and it attaches itself right to the griffin. As it does, you see the crystalline snowflakes and like the ice things just starting to grow and expand right on the mane of this griffin. You know it took effect, and you know it hurt. Done your movement, done your turn. Excellent. Briny.
Okay. So against my better judgment, I am going to exit the rock.
Can't stop.
Um,
Rock, you can't stop.
okay, I yell, Howard, cover me. And I'm going to cast Cure Wounds at first level on Halsterian.
Perfect. Do it up.
Thank you.
Ooh, nice. So Hal's
Oh, and I guess that rolled an 8. I forgot that clicking things in D&D Beyond makes things happen in Roll20, and it scares me every time.
you will learn eventually that it is a thing. So, and is it your movement to come out of the stone? I should learn this so that way I understand how this works.
I don't remember it saying that, like, in the description, so I don't think so.
You can use your movement to leave the stone where
Oh,
you entered it. Yeah.
yep, you're right. Alright, yeah, I guess that's my turn.
Okay,
I'm just
cool.
gonna rely on the rest to make me not die of griffins.
That's okay. So, Howard blasts it with a lack of a better term, a cone of cold. And as you do, even though you can't perceive what's outside, you understand how your friends are. You pop right out and you realize, yep, you made the right prediction. Did that, turn around, and you say, what do you say to Howard or Halsterian? For is it cure wound or it's cure
Cure
wounds,
wound.
not healing word. Never mind. So you pop right out and realize Howard's or Halsterian's right there. You throw your hand right on where the beak peck was. As that does, the wound just starts diminishing.
Oh, thank you.
And with that, it's Mama Bird's time. She just got blasted and pelted with a bunch of different bolts and lightning. As that happens, she shakes off the blindness that just had happened, looks right down, sees a spleen. So we'll put spleen on Rock. And it's going right for a dive attack. As she does, she makes a loud, piercing screech. I need everybody to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Natural 20.
18.
Nice.
Natural 1.
Oh no.
I
Oh,
got a
buddy.
10.
Oh.
I like how the nerds are you got the end, middle, and,
Yep.
and top.
Sorry.
I love it.
So for those with a 15 or less, you hear the screech, and as you do, you start shaking with this undeniable sense of fear. As you do, you are stunned until the end of the Griffin's turn. Next turn.
Ooh.
Mm.
And I'm just trying to remember what stunned does.
I think you can't take your turn.
It's funny, I looked this up, and then as soon as it comes game day,
I should
Right.
know this because I
Of
play a
course.
monk.
We can pull it right up
And I'm
actually
just like,
with D&D Beyond.
I
Uh,
don't remember.
incapacitated, can't move, can't speak, only duringly. This creature automatically fails strength and dex saving throws. Attack rolls against it have advantage.
Yep.
Cool. So as it does that, Spleen, you made the save.
18?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. It's just trying to remember who saved what.
I
So it's
think
coming in.
the two of us did, she and I.
Yep. It's gonna come in for an attack, and it's gonna start with a beak. uh, does a 20 hit?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. It's going to roll. Well, I didn't want to do that. I floored one of my dice.
Oop.
I'll still, yeah, I'll re-roll. Cool. That'll be 12 damage.
Okay.
Uh, and then it's gonna take one of its claws and throws it and attacks you with it. With that is that 18 will hit.
That's my armor class.
So it's a meets it, beats it.
Yeah.
Cool. And with that,
Yo, I'm bad at being a barbarian. I forgot to rage.
It happens.
I know! It's like,
that's
crap!
Fine.
I haven't been in combat for a bit.
okay. 17 damage.
Oh, God. Alright. Well, that will definitely make me rage now.
Yep. So it comes right in. It lands its attack with the claw and bites right into you. You're not happy about that. After that screech,
Mm-mm.
and that's its movement. That's its turn. It comes down
Perfect.
to the purple griffin. The other one was eyeing. The other one was eyeing Howard, so it's gonna go in and make an attack, and it will miss. Even with advantage, it still missed. Jeez. Thanks, guys. And the second one will still miss too. Or will it? 12?
17 with mage armor.
Oh, Lord. So this thing comes right in, and as you hearing screeching and like the semi-lion roar that comes, you recognize, oh shit, something's right behind you. Instinctively, your army training kicks in, and you immediately duck right out of the way, and you weave out of the second one. You've got 2 griffins on you right now, but that's all it can do. Spleen. Scree.
Okay. Alright. I rage. I would like to rage. Is it still, like, really close to me?
Oh yeah, it's like it basically landed on the rock and it was making its attacks.
I want to grab. Do griffins have ears? You know what? No. I want to grab its beak and spread it open and let my breath in through its mouth.
Oh,
Right? It's in
oh,
my face. It made a mistake.
it's in its face. It made it. Okay, so
Spread
it
it
comes
far
down. It
open.
grabs you with its claw and it takes a bite at you. But as you take a moment to recoil, you realize, wait. You immediately flex, and as you do, let me go to my notes.
Would that be a grapple?
And it's flavor.
Oh.
I'm just doing it's a flavor thing. You're not actually grappled.
Oh. Okay.
As you rage, your hair starts turning just more red, and you start seeing everyone else starts seeing lines of mascara, this heavy blood red mascara come right across.
Oh. Oh.
And as you do, my turn, or sorry, Ah! Ah!
Heavy metal spleen.
And it's
Holy
got to make
crap.
it. It's got to make a deck save, but because of how freaking cool you're doing that, no, make a strength check.
Okay. Strength check. That's really good. It's a 21.
It's a 21. No problem. It's gonna make this deck save without with disadvantage because you're right there. You've just forced its beak right open. Wow, really? Okay. It's 12s. It's an 18,
Ooh, so half damage.
so half damage.
Okay. That's all right. D4. D6. Okay. That's good. Yeah, good. 18 half is 9.
9.
That's one attack. And then I'm going to take my battle axe.
The breath counts
Was
as an action.
I was gonna say, was that your action doing that?
As an
I-
attack action.
Let me make sure it's not a bonus action. I think it's an action.
And if you bonused
It's
action, that would be your you could have to either choose your rage or the lightning breath,
because
dragon's breath.
rage is bonus action. And then dragon's breath
Yeah,
is the
it consumes your
the
action
cre-
to use the breath.
yeah, you can use an action.
So it's either your attacks or the breath.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Good to know moving forward.
Is it not an attack action or is it just an action?
No,
It's
it counts as your full action.
it's an action within
Oh, okay.
itself to release the breath.
Okay. That is fine by me.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay, and then let's add some Fury of the Small to that with extra 5 damage.
Hell yeah, I'm living for that.
I'm mad. What the fuck? That was bullshit. Okay. Yeah.
So basically, you open its beak, you scream, and the lightning just comes right up, and now it's not blue, it's red.
Ah, I love it.
It's red. It goes right down the bird's gullet, and
Yeah.
you hear it just you as you're holding on. It's trying to pull away, but obviously, and you just hear this guttural like lion's roar screech hybrid. You feel satisfied. I would assume you feel satisfied.
I am partially satisfied. I
Snap
have a
baby,
really large appetite.
We
snap
know.
baby, satisfied. That's your turn.
Hmm.
Hal, burbs
I,
everywhere.
yeah, I cower for my entire turn. Turns out, not a whole hell of a lot else I can do. Oh dear, no.
Are you serious?
Yeah, incapacitated.
I'm stunned.
Right. Forgot about that. I totally forgot about that. All right, so
Well, I could have just faked that then. I mean, really.
thank
All
you for the
right.
reminder.
Is that just for this turn, by the way?
It's
Or do I have
till
to make a save?
it's till the end of the Royal Griffin's turn.
Okay.
Actually, just let me until till the end of this guy's turn. So basically, when this turn comes up, you guys are able to go back to it again. This Griffin uh realize that its intended target finally makes an appearance, and it's gonna turn around and take a swipe right at Ryanie. Uh, does a 17 hit?
Do I
Bryony,
check for that?
your AC.
AC armor class. If it equals it or is higher, it hits you.
Oh. Oh, wait. How do I... Where's armor class again?
It
Oh,
should
12?
be.
Yeah. Oh, that hits.
Okay, cool. So, sorry, that was loud. I shouldn't have whistled that.
Actually, it did not come through.
I didn't hear anything.
It comes in with its beak. It immediately turns around. As it does, it makes a snapping motion right at you. It lands again right on your arm. It seems to be going right for the extremities. That'll be 10 points of damage,
Rip.
and then it's gonna take its claw and make a swipe at you. An 11 will hit you,
That does not hit.
and it goes right for a claw attack. And as it does, you move right out of the way because you instinctively like, ow! Just you jump, makes its claw attack, and it completely misses. With that, it's going to try. It's going to try and fly out, and you guys can make an attack of opportunity if you are stunned, if you wish.
I have a question.
Yes.
Warcaster lets me use single target spells as an opportunity attack if
Yep.
they are in action. Green Flame Blade, you attack a creature, and then it also jumps to a nearby creature. You only target one, so I don't know how you want to...
Single target is single target in my mind. So if you hit something and then consecutively fires right off,
Consider
that
it
is
a
still
multi.
yeah. Actually, I would still consider it single target because it starts with one instead of
Okay.
it being area of effect or conal
Then the sword is
or
coming out,
linear.
and we're swinging.
All right.
That's... oh, I'm on the wrong. 22 to hit.
That's 20. Yes, it hits.
I rolled an 18. What do you want from me?
Does a 22 hit?
Okay, I'm gonna need
And
a
then
sec,
and then
because...
the oh shit moment when it's like, no, it does not.
Fuck!
All right. So what's the damage?
So I need a D8. So 10, 11 slashing to the Griffin flying away, plus 2 fire, and then 8 fire to the nearby one.
Just let me do the math on the first one. And then 8 to the second one.
Yes.
8 in total.
Yes.
Right on. It starts flying away, and Howard recognizes recognizes an opportunity when it hits him. He just dodged right out of the way of the second Griffin coming in. As he does, he spins around, wields his blade, and he fires it right off, right at the Griffin flying away. So is it like a slashing motion that you do?
Yeah, just as he pulls it out, swipe at it.
He swipes right out, and green flame starts flying right at the Griffin, and it attaches and it attacks. As you do, you hear the smell. You hear the screeching, and you smell the burning feathers and fur going at it. As it does, the flame immediately relashes and fires right off to the Griffin right behind him. You do not see what happens, but you can definitely hear it.
Sweet.
All right, so that is Pink Griffin's turn. Howard. And it still flies away, so
Whoa.
it'll land right on top of the.
That one's moving away. We're gonna circle around this one because that's not a happy place to be, surrounded by griffins. As he's just like shit, 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 shit. And
Sometimes you can taste the sound. That's why my burps taste like beans.
Yeah, I'm at my parents' house one day. What was it, Thanksgiving or something?
Yeah.
They took me to the hospital. I'm over visiting my parents or something. No, I was at Laosha's. I was visiting.
whoops, 11 to hit.
11 to hit. It will not hit.
Ah. And that'll be my turn.
Cool. Bryony.
All right, since that didn't hit, I am gonna take my javelin. So I remembered I have that.
Are you
And
stunned?
is it off by now?
Nope.
It hasn't been around
Oh,
yet.
damn it. Well, what can I do then if I'm stunned?
Nothing. You were
Not a whole lot.
incapacitated.
Yeah.
You're incapacitated for the round. So you do that. You immediately think, right, javelin, and you start trying to go for it. And you just can't move.
And my arm is still hurt. And I'm like, ah.
Exactly. You got jostled once, and that was it. You're not having a happy time right now. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I try to grab out a weapon, but the pain is too much in my arm, and I drop down to the ground.
I like it. I like it. All right, and with that, that is your turn.
Sorry,
It's
I forgot I was stunned. I thought that was over.
That's okay. Yep. All right, so it is the Royal Griffin's turn. Now, at the end of this turn, you guys who were stunned will not are not anymore. But it just got its gullet breathed down upon. It didn't like it one bit. It's making its attacks against you, Spleen.
Okay.
One bit. It's gonna come right up and just immediately dive right upon you. And with that, it's going to make a beak attack. Does 22 hit?
Yeah. Yeah, this.
And that'll be. Wait, no, sorry, that's the wrong damage dice for that. Da, da, da. 12 damage.
Is that halved or already halved?
No, that is 12. I'll say the total. You'll do the halving
Oh, okay.
yourself. So that way nobody's confused about what. Okay, so and then with the second attack, it's gonna take its talent. Take its claws and try and grip you again. Thematically grip you. 20.
Yeah, that hit.
Dead hit.
That hit. Oh, dude, that hurt. Okay. Rolling high.
Uh, 18 damage. And it's gonna take its talons and try and pierce them right into you. and immediately just does not. So dives right down, throws its beak right at you. It lands. It throws its claw right down at you, and it lands. And then it tries to take its talons and squeeze right into you, and you're just like, no, flex, and you just pop the claw right off.
Mhm.
And that is its turn.
Oh, you're so gonna get it.
That's its turn, and it's going to be the purple griffin's turn now. It just got tried to be attacked by Howard. It's gonna turn around, beak attack. There's only so many ways I can describe getting hit by a beak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just got.
It's like a bird video. It just bonks you.
It's just that gif of the bird that keeps continuously drinking, hitting the Y button. Takes an attack. Does a 21 hit?
Yeah.
Excellent. That'll be 9 damage,
Ooh.
and will make a claw attack against you. Ooh, that was a natural 19. That's definitely gonna hit you.
Yep.
Damn.
But for any consolation, it rolled really low, so
That's good.
it rolled a 7 for its
Mhm.
damage. So it comes in, turns right around, beak attack, beak attack, and then goes right again for another claw, like a raking claw attack, just right up in front of you. It lands both times. You get hit pretty good. With that, it's got to be ending its turn right in front of you. Oh, by the way, the griffin that's flew away, it's looking quite rough. I forgot to mention that. My apologies.
That's good because Howard is bleeding profusely.
Right on.
Mhm.
Okay, with that, it's done. Spleen.
Ooh.
I mean, just say your stuff because
Spleen
that
just
is
bites
exactly
him.
how she would talk. Mouthful,
Yeah,
she
but
don't
I
care.
don't want to show people my mouthful though.
You have a cover. Just slide it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mhm. Like how big is like how big can they open the beak?
How big they can open the beak?
Yeah.
Uh, a good 3.5 feet.
Okay.
I mean, these things are large creatures, so they've
Mhm.
got a pretty good gullet, and you know how wide birds can open their beaks, right?
Yeah.
So, like, it may not look like it can open it, but it can.
I am 4 feet tall. And if I extend my arms, all right, just bear with me.
Oh God.
um, I want to open its mouth and put my foot on the bottom one and get underneath and punch its mouth all the way open, like just split it open.
Okay, we're gonna make a contested attack rolls because you're using your body as a weapon, and it's using its main like.
Mm-hmm.
There are words for this. Its compressive power
Mm-hmm.
on its beak, just to try and squeeze down on you. So you're making basically contested strength checks, but you're both attacking, so it's just a contested attack roll.
Okay.
So that's what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what did you roll?
Natural 20.
And it rolled. Yeah. Okay,
27.
it rolled a 21.
Oh my god. Spleen's getting a little desperate. She is also not looking so great. But she's
I,
smiling real big and feral.
okay. Good. All right. So you do that. You open it right up, and basically Mortal Kombat style, just boop boop. And if you could ever hear the most desperate sound of a scream, that was it. You do that, and it just immediately, like, it's shaking its head trying to get you out, but because you basically just broke its bottom jaw, it can't scream, it can't do anything. You're holding on to dear life at this point as it's
Mhm.
trying to shake. As you do, it's, oh man, it's not happy with you, but it's not happy in general.
Mhm. Would that count as an attack action? If I broke
Uh,
his jaw, is it now loose? Will I fall out?
that's why I'm saying you're holding on to dear action. Like
Okay.
I'm also holding, like, you've got iron grip is what you do. Not like me today, but
I
you're
shouldn't laugh. I'm sorry.
and so okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna tell you what happened to me today. This is what happened, but this was on my other thumb. It basically did this.
Sounds like not fun.
It does not sound like fun, but luckily I've got a pretty good range of motion on it right now, so I think I'm okay. But
Take it
nonetheless,
easy on it, though.
I'm definitely taking it easy on it. But basically, because it was close to the ground trying to make this attack. You came in, you did that, you lifted right up, and it's now
Oh.
shaking, and you're holding on for dear life. As it's making this scream,
Mhm.
I want the rest of you to make perception checks.
11.
11,
15.
15, Bryony?
Oh, do I also?
No, you're
Okay.
you're in the middle of it.
22.
22. You notice some of the feathers on the royal griffin just starting to shed a bit. As you look at the other two, wild feral creatures are not technically smart, but they realize when they're in a bad spot when the mama is getting hurt in most peculiar ways. It notices you guys are noticing that you're seeing some rather, like, taken aback moments with the griffin, with the griffins. So spleen, that's bonus action. Okay, so we never resolved that. I would say that was probably that would be an action to do that. Just the
Yeah.
pure force of breaking a lower jaw
Mm-hmm.
of an enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh Halsterian. So wait, sorry. Is that your turn? Like, can you do anything else?
Um. No, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be it. She's gonna keep holding on. Yep, she's gonna keep holding on.
Okay, she's gonna keep holding on. That's your turn, Halsterian.
Well, Hal's gonna go. Howard, you still have enough energy for another fun little spell?
Always.
All right, I am holding Burning Hands at 3rd level until Howard uses his next spell.
Right
We will
on.
be casting them together.
Oh, I like this. So that's your held action is to do that. It's the pink ribbon turn. It's up on the thing. It just heard the mama scream, and it's taken quite aback, and it's gonna take its flight and move itself off.
Oh, coward babies. It's like, oh shit, mom's gonna die. Whoa!
It wasn't looking too good itself either.
Oh, is that the
It's it was quite bloodied, and it left a bunch of its feathers behind as well.
Hey.
So, Howard,
Before I take my turn, Halsterian has received a point of luck.
Halsterian
Ooh.
has received a point of luck.
And
Oh,
something
who
else
did that?
happened too. Otter did.
Otter did.
Oh.
Oh,
And
thank you,
Oh,
Otter.
God.
I received a point of luck. Yes. I might need
How?
that.
Wait,
Wait,
what?
that's not what I want.
Combined shenanigans. Okay. You asked for
Oh,
it.
yes.
Remind me with luck. That's advantage on a roll.
It's a
You-
reroll.
A
Yeah, you
reroll.
can
Okay.
use it for an attack of yours or an enemy's. You can make them reroll.
Yeah.
I think you can use it on a saving throw too.
Anything that deals with the D20 roll.
Okay.
Basically.
Fantastic.
And one of the really nice things is you can pick which die to use after the roll.
Uh,
Luck is one of the few things that lets you do that.
I was thinking halfling luck. That's why.
Oh,
Where it was you have to choose your
yeah.
your secondary.
And that's
But
how a lot of things are. Well,
okay, do it.
chaos has been called for. Frost
Chaos has been
fingers at
called.
3rd level.
Ah!
Imagine
All right.
combining something with Bryony at the same time. Y'all three just.
Oh, it's gonna
my
happen.
God.
It's gonna happen.
All right. So, describe to me what you guys are doing. Is it just quite literally a duo attack on both sides of like one's getting icy and one's getting hot?
And Hal is engulfed in my icy, so he's gonna be sculpted around so he's not frozen over.
That's perfect.
Oh, I did actually mean to move over here. Is that all right?
Yeah, you know, you do your thing.
Right here? Okay.
Yeah. It is Todoroki.
So, you
Even better.
guys run right up as the other griffin. You notice the other griffin starting to fly away. Its instinct just flies right off. You run right up and you take your hand. You basically you spark it as if it were a piece of flint with the other hand, just whack, and the other one, and Howard, in same fashion, slaps right down, throws the incantation right in, and you both make. Does it now? What does it do? Makes dexterity saving throw. Makes what?
Frost
Oh, you
fingers
make it a-
Does saving throw.
Yeah. Dex for
They're both-
him, Constitution for me.
Okay.
It's meant to be me.
Dex and Constitution, and you could also use luck on. You could also use luck on enemy saving throws as well.
I don't think you can on saving throws. I think only on attack rolls. I'm not sure.
I'm pretty. Go look that up. I'm gonna make my rules.
I got you.
This one's Dex. 19 Con, 16 Dex.
Oh, I'm definitely using my luck on that if we can.
Only on an attack roll against you.
Gotcha.
Ah.
Yeah. Okay. That works. Okay, so it that works. So what's the damage on both of them? It saved on both.
On both? Okay.
Well,
Yep. 19 Con, 16 Dex.
Damn.
writing with a weird thumb is weird.
9 total for me. That's already
9.
7
half.
for me.
Nine
Oh,
nine
sorry.
for
No messages, no more.
So- 9 for Howard. Halsterian, what was yours?
It have down to 7.
Half down to 7. with that, you immediately engulf in ice. You see the crystalline structures just go right in through the fur, the beak, the feathers, the mane. As you do, and immediately it just gets engulfed in fire. I'm doing it for the flavor points. Gets engulfed in fire, and as it does, it immediately just comes out singed and steaming, and that really hurt it. And that's your turn, Howard.
Yes.
It's your turn, Bryony. You are now unstunned, and you have your javelin.
I do. So I'm going to go ahead and take my javelin the rest of the way out and throw it at the Mama Griffin near Spleen, because Hal and Howard seem like they're working with the icy hot pretty well.
Rub A535. Perfect. All right, so you peek yourself out right around the corner. You see the the mama javelin.
Mama javelin.
I like it.
The mama bird, and you're just like, throw it. What's your attack?
I roll for that. Oh, great. What advantage do I get on that attack?
You actually do get it. You do get
Or like,
that because a ranged attack with a javelin should be either dex or strength throw, but you do roll 2d20 and take the higher because spleen is right there
okay.
parrying it. It does work.
So I can roll 2d20 and take the higher?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I'm not going to tell you what I just rolled, but it wasn't good.
One is
Oh,
a
awesome.
noise.
Well, this time I rolled a 16, and with my dexterity is +1, so I have a 17, which is a lot better than 3.
Oh.
Make it definitely hits. All right, throw some stank on it.
Some stank.
So throw some damage numbers at it.
Uh, do I? What do I roll for that? I'm sorry, I'm not used to like combat.
It
Okay,
should say it on the weapon somewhere, but I'm looking it up
Was
for
it
you
the
just in
javelin?
case. Yeah,
Yeah.
javelin.
if I remember correctly, it should be a d6 if it's thrown.
Yep.
Yeah.
1d6.
Okay.
So it'll be 1d6 plus your dex modifier,
Gotcha. Thank you.
because ranged weapon.
See, I do spells. I don't do weapons, despite having like a weirdly large range of them.
I like that you guys are doing something different.
Yeah. Well, I got a 6.
Got nice.
So what's
You
your
do.
dex modifier?
I added the dex modifier. I
So
rolled a 5 and my dex is 1, so I got a 6.
pop right out. You pop right out of the rock's range. You do that. You see the mama griffin, and whack! You throw it, hurling through the air, just making the whistle noise too. Lands right where the like right in between the head and the shoulders. So like
Yeah.
you
That's
just right in the
ooh.
collar, what you would think the collarbone would be, and it screams. Cool. It screams in pain. Any movement, any bonus action that you can do? You can still cast a spell because you haven't casted one. If you can, as a bonus action.
I am gonna cast a bonus action of Cure Wounds on myself again.
Cool. Excellent. And you can do that as a bonus action too. That's the best part of that spell.
Right?
That is handy.
Yeah. It's seriously. You do that. So you do that and you immediately just kind of like a Maori haka where you just boom. You do that and you immediately feel the healing resonate right through you. As you do, the wound from the Griffin peck immediately starts dissipating. It's not fully gone, but it's almost fully healed. With that, uh, it's Mama Griffin's turn. As it does, oh, that hurt. Oh.
Oh,
Careful.
And it was like not a sharp pain, but it was like a good sore. It was just like I'm just gonna do that. And I'm like, whoa.
No.
No, why? It does that. Recognizes that its lower jaw is broken and it's not happy, and immediately takes right off and starts flying off. And because of its flyby ability, you're not able to take an opportunity attack.
Aren't I still holding on to the?
Where it was flavor is what that was.
Okay, just.
Yeah, you're not going with it. It it can't hold on to you, so it can't hold on, and you know immediately to let go as soon as it takes off.
I'm so glad because my brain went full panic because I do not have Featherfall prepared today.
I know I was ready to kill it in the sky
was
and
like,
just
"Oh, no!"
die on the way down.
Yeah. Doctor Strangelove ride the bomb down.
Pretty much. Freaking surf its dead corpse
Yeah, it
through the
takes
sky.
it flies and it takes right off. You did not make it stay by doing that.
Good luck eating.
And with that, it is gone. The griffin right in front of you guys immediately just got its ass singed. turns around, turns around and goes for like a buck kick for both of you. And that'll be its 2 attacks. That'll be wait, sorry, wrong one. Whoops. 16 to hit Howard and 11 to hit Halster.
Just barely deflected.
Barely deflected.
Yep, it doesn't hit me either.
Right on. Because of the steam and the singe and just the pain that it's feeling, it immediately tries to do like a horse double kick, like right down, flicks it back end right out. But because it can't see, it tries to make purchase onto Howard, but immediately the mage armor immediately just the blue sheen. Your magic is blue, correct?
Yes.
The blue sheen just comes right up, takes it, and completely just whiffs at Halsterian. And with that, it's gonna do that. Turn right around, and face its foes. It's an aggressive one, is what this one is. But that's its turn. And spleen,
Yeah.
scree.
Yeah. She's still really, really enraged, and that one just flew off. Pisses her off because she wanted a trophy. But there's still hope, since there's one that has not left yet. And she's gonna take her full movement over there. Boop, boop, boop. Because it's 30 to get to the griffin, and the rock is like 10 feet tall. Boop. She's gonna pop down and book it.
Yeah.
I guess I could just like stand
You
here.
jump off the rock, you anime style or movie style, superhero land. Boom, look up, and because you're just full blown raging. You run, and there's just a ghostly faint ethereal feathers just following your trail, and they immediately
Oh,
dissipate after about 5 feet.
what? Sorry. Oh my, whoa. And I'm going to make a reckless attack.
Okay, do it. You come in, two-handed, one-handed, what?
Um, I'm going to versatile, so two-hand my battle axe.
Two-hand your battle axe.
I'm
You
gonna
come
come
right
in,
in, drag it on.
slice down on its right in the middle of its forehead.
Yeah, you're dragging it on the ground as you land. As you run right up, you jump, plant your feet, make your
Bonk.
attack.
Good thing for
Reckless.
advantage. Good thing for advantage, thank God. Okay, because that first one wasn't good. So that's plus 7, 19.
That'll hit. Roll your damage.
Hold on. What's that? I forgot what a D10 looks like. This one. uh,
I've been there.
It looks like a spaceship.
Oh,
They
well,
all look
it
like
fell.
spaceships.
9 plus 4, 13 plus 2, 15
15.
damage for the first attack. Um, yeah. Does reckless attack only go for the first attack, or does it go for the second attack
All your
as well?
attacks on that turn.
Yeah,
Okay.
all your attacks because the enemy will be all enemies will be able to take advantage against you. That's
Okay.
how reckless works.
Okay, that's not
So
bad.
do it.
Natural 20. Oh my God. Okay.
Okay, so let me describe the first attack so that way you can lead it up into the second. All right.
Okay.
So you plant your feet, you bring your axe right down, you land it right dead center of the griffin as it was turning right around. You anticipated its turn, so you land it right in, right dead center, and you see viscera and blood just shoot right out of the center of its forehead, the with the giant mane just starting to get bloody and covering its eyes. Make your second attack. Now with your natural 20. Or sorry, you made your second attack, now it's a natural 20. Roll for damage.
Oh my God.
So it's the axe is still
Two
purchased.
hand. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's still purchased in the forehead. So just so when you make your second,
You know what would be great? Take a
what?
war pick on the hammer side and slam into my axe to make it go deeper. Just a hammer to the nail. All right, that is so okay, 8 plus 4, 12 plus 2, 14, and then
Double.
what do I do? Double it.
Uh, did you? It's just
So
the damage die that gets doubled.
so, so 8 cuz 1d8. So I got an 8. So 16.
So 16 damage so 16 so you rolled an 8 on that.
16.
So that's 16
Mhm.
damage, then you add your modifier and your rage bonus on top of that.
Okay,
So
16
that's
plus 4,
is
20,
20.
22.
22.
Mhm.
Spleen. Finish it.
Oh, and that's it. That's what happens. I
So
just hammer my battle axe into its brains.
you do that, and because you landed the axe in and it still had purchase, the griffin reared, but you came up with it and you anticipated it. With that, you land right on its beak because it is a quite a large creature. It is quite a large creature. You instinctively go for your war axe, just in this bloodied craze, as all the feathers in your hair, like your red tipped hair, starts flying right out. You immediately look right down, take it, boom.
Bonk.
And I'm assuming you still have dragon's breath on you.
I do?
Well, for the flair of it anyway, I say you do. Um,
7 more rounds.
Okay.
you do. As you do, lightning strikes at the same time.
Whoa. Jesus Christ.
The griffin immediately just, you don't even hear a squawk at all. It just, as soon as that happens, It hits the deck.
Hell yeah!
An immediate eerie silence follows. And
Wait,
with
I
that,
said she also falls to the ground and leans her forehead on his beak. It is just quiet.
Oh, that was not fun. Howard plops to the ground as well, keeping an eye on the skies just in case. That hurt a lot.
Oof. I also drop down, leaning my back against the large rock.
there are dangerous things out in this world. Sometimes you might be out of your league.
Hal,
What was that voice?
Bryony, how you looking?
I'm mostly fine, just tired.
That's good. Hal?
Better than you.
If you just give me a second, I'm going to go take a water break. Just grab some water. So,
Oh yeah, let me just throw some hydrates in this joint.
Why?
What? Hydration is important here.
I
There's
know.
3 of them. That means 3 big gulps.
And stretch while you're at
And
it.
a stretch, okay. Be careful.
No water!
Yeah, we hydrating.
Yeah,
Damn it.
hydrating.
oh, I
And we're
just came back.
stretching.
Oh,
Ooh, stretch.
okay. So first things first, I'm going to take a drink of water. Thank you for that. And for stretch, you do the left. You do it right. You do the back. You do the front. And you do shoulders back. Double chin.
So you're aware, we have 4 hydrates total. Damn it, Otter.
Yeah, I need to.
This is why we need bigger glasses like this.
I got plenty.
There you go. Made myself all wet with that one. To be
No
fair, I was
drowning.
quite. That's the number 1 rule of my game. No drowning.
Spleen, that was pretty crazy. How are you feeling?
He's stroking the Griffin's cheek and going just like it's just the feathers. And just thumbs up because like it's I guess it's in this angle, just like forehead
Yeah.
on beak, stroking. It's just,
So like a hand comes right up and you just see Spleen's hand just comes straight up.
she is coming down from the rage, so that red tip hair fades back to her like dark black green or black hair with like a green hue.
And the
It's
mascara
back to that.
and the mascara goes back to black.
Mm-hmm. It's just sagging on the floor or the ground. And
By
it
the way-
just rips, tears, is bleeding.
So
It's
by
just
the way,
quiet.
I just want to know, how badly did it hurt y'all?
I'm at 10.
Al?
Bryony helped me quite a bit, so I'm at 31 still.
Good. Bri?
I think I'm back at 38 because you did 10 damage and then I healed myself with 10.
Okay. Okay, so then you healed yourself back to full. Oh, man. The wound's gone. You're fully rejuvenated.
I'm
You're
at 16.
you're perky. You're at 16. Ooh. I guess I did a number on you.
Yeah, I was not raised, I forgot. And
Mhm.
so those full mounts, I was like,
Still learning combat with the characters.
Yeah, it's okay.
I
Well,
played
anyways.
2 barbarians. I should know this.
It
I
happens.
should know this.
I I, still in my back against the rock position, I go, "Hey, Spleen," and just like flop out my hand. Give me some of those feathers.
All right, just give me a sec.
The DM has received a boon for a good
Ooh.
fight.
Good
It
fight.
was a good fight.
Good. I'm happy.
Ooh, that was.
I was
that
getting
ballsy.
worried.
I was right like at the part the turn where I broke the jaw. I had a chance to bonus action like disengage because of nimble escape and everything.
Hmm.
But I was like, Spleen,
Wouldn't.
no.
Spleen does not. The day that Spleen uses that ability is the day I'm afraid.
Well, she would disengage to like get a better position, but to run away out of like, I guess I don't know, fear
Or to
Or
attack
that
something else. Get
Yes.
something else's attention.
Yeah. I was like, nope. I'm gonna sit here. I might die.
All right, so you guys are picking feathers and doing all that.
Yeah, I'm gonna take
Sitting
some
for a bit.
feathers.
All right.
Talons.
Anybody who's doing anything with harvesting, doing anything like that, make a nature check, please.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna sit here and take a short rest.
Nature. That is a 14. 15 minus 1.
Got a 13.
13. Okay, so picking feathers from a griffin is a bit of an art. It's a little bit of a dexterous thing, but it's definitely like you pull 2 off, and some of them are bloody, some of them like really badly done. But you find a cluster that are really nicely shapen and beautifully ornate. And you just, as soon as you pick one off, you realize, oh, easy. You do that, you each get 10 griffin feathers.
I want his beak. Oh my god. His talons.
If you need any of those cleaned, let me know.
Are you going for the talons and the beak?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. With your nature check, you easily know where to cut off at the knuckle bone of each claw. There are words here.
Anatomy. Fantasy creature anatomy.
And fantasy creature anatomy. Well, you see the butt sack.
Right sack.
What we're doing here today is we're gonna deal with the butt sack of a griffin. It's a gorgeous thing. Just look at the shape of it.
Oh, yes.
You easily know where to cut, and you do so. And grabbing griffin talons is quite easy. The beak, on the other hand, that's a bit of work of art, is what that is. So, but are you attempting to go for it?
Yeah.
Make one more nature roll.
Yeah, this not my specialty. Oh no. It's not good. It's a 2.
That's a 2.
Yeah. 3 minus 1.
You immediately, because of the damage that you had done to the middle of its forehead and slammed right down further, you notice that there was a crack that actually lined right into the beak itself. And as you try and pull right up and out, it shatters.
Damn it. Nah, I don't care anyway. I wanted the big ones. Ugh.
Spleen, what are you gonna do with that thing?
What?
What were you gonna do with that thing?
Do with what?
The beak.
I don't know. Make a cool mask?
Party hat.
Or like something for the shoulder?
That thing is practically as big as you are.
A shield?
Well,
I
I
don't need
guess you
those.
could cut it down. Yeah.
There is a bottom beak. It's definitely
On this
smaller.
one.
Yep.
Oh yeah. I guess you can try to go for that.
I, still sitting, reach into my bag and take out a largish bottle, stuff a couple of the griffin feathers into it, blow on it, and say, "All right, who's hurt?"
I am?
Come here. I'm not moving. You come here.
Alright. Stand up slowly. Walk over.
I take some of the powdered griffin feather amongst other things and put it on a cloth bandage and wrap it around. Howard, where are you hurt exactly? Arm?
I don't remember. I'd say at least some torso. Probably
Alright,
right
yeah,
arm
well-
as well.
Well, I wrap it around your torso because that seems to be kind of an emergency. How bad is spleen hurt?
I'm fine. Crosses her arms, just bleeding. Yep.
Spleen.
Blood. I'm a little sore.
I think she's hurt.
You don't say.
Hal, why don't you clean her up a bit and we can tell where the fresh blood is coming from?
What?
All
No,
right,
I look
so-
cool. I look cool like this. Don't touch me.
And prestidigitation. While she's getting clean, I want to take a closer look at the griffin itself.
Just give me a second.
Figure out how to add feathers to the inventory.
You can put it in other possessions too if you need.
Oh, it's just like how to add that type of item or like a custom.
All right, so you're gonna make a closer look at the Griffin, Steve.
Yes, please.
All right. With that Arcana check that I asked you to roll,
Mhm.
you know that most creatures have some magical abilities. They're not so much as abilities, but have magical properties that can be used to make artificing items or potions or other items of grand feats. You may have slept through a couple of your artificing classes, but you also recognize that Griffin's eyes are used for an eye of the eagle, an item used for making higher perceptions, perceiving a lot better.
I see. Huh, no pun intended.
Good thing it didn't
You know-
stay blind.
Well, it was the other one anyway. But yes. I'm going to pass that information along. Hey, we may want to get these eyes. They could be very helpful, letting us perceive a little bit better. Give us the eyes of the eagle, as it were. Anyone like to help me cleanly remove them?
You would also know that a shelf life of eyes like that are not long unless you try and preserve them.
Goodness, do we even have anything to put it in?
I have a bag
I do
of fire
have
resistance.
a jar of pickling ingredients if you want some pickled griffin eyes for a snack later.
Ooh.
That's not what I was picturing exactly. Do you have any formaldehyde, I suppose?
Nope. Afraid not.
What kits do you guys have?
Probably nothing will
I
help.
don't know.
I mean, I
if
have an
have
herbalism
any.
kit.
You
I
have an
don't have
alchemist kit too.
You?
There would be formaldehyde in an
Oh.
alchemist kit, like a very small portion of it, but enough to make a preserve.
Because he threw in the shop,
Yeah.
the prancing lizard. He threw in the alchemist
I'd
kit for
forgotten
you
about
right at the
that.
start.
Yeah. Turns out I do have a small amount, maybe enough for 1 or 2 eyes.
Yeah.
You sure you don't want to pickle them? They're good.
Maybe some other time. Maybe some other Griffin.
Always more eyes
Well,
if the
let's,
others come back.
I have a bone to pick
precisely.
with the big one.
Seemed like you had a jaw to pick with it.
I don't know how it's gonna survive without being able to eat.
It was a jaw-dropping encounter.
Wow.
Hear that? Spleen.
Right, let's get to plucking.
Spleen is just jaw dropping.
I know, I'm gorgeous. I'm drop dead gorgeous.
Terrifying.
Yeah, to each their own. You'll learn to love me, Hal.
I take that as a threat.
Gives you a big, sharp, toothy smile.
Should I be rolling, like nature to get those?
So you're actually going in for it?
Going to try.
All right. Anybody helping?
Yeah, I'll help.
Please.
I am.
Nope.
Thank you.
Okay. Make a nature check with advantage.
Wonderful.
Uh,
Only have to roll once. It was a natural 20, so 22.
the DC to get the Griffin's Eye is a 20. They're extremely difficult to try and pluck.
Well,
Oh,
unfortunately, I got an 8, and that was the higher roll.
Well, no. If I make the help action actually gives one person advantage.
So both don't have to roll, just the one person that was doing
right.
it.
Just the one
Oh.
doing it, so it gives a better advantage per se. So Halsterian had initiated a help action, and you'd said that you'd want to help to go in. So
Oh, okay.
he was going to do the roll. So it is a useful little trick
Mm-hmm.
that you can utilize from time to time. But Hal, with Bryony's help and guidance, and your understanding of your biology classes when you were back at the academy, you had easily recognized that. Okay, you just lift the lip flap. Wow, that's a tongue twister. And immediately you know what to do. And I'm not going to go into the details at this point because
That's fair.
you're just like, easy, do the procedure. You pull them out, and you pull them out cleanly. And with Bryony's help with the formaldehyde and a couple of alchemist jars that came with the kit, you were easily able to set up a solution and throw both eyes in there, and you now have 2 preserved Griffin eyes.
Wonderful.
Which is kind of surprising that they survived, given the absolute destruction that Spleen had done to them.
Well, you guys got the other 2. I didn't touch them. But the beacon on it. I'm really bad at nature checks.
Oh, Spleen,
Sorry,
we gotta get you something with a longer range.
Throw me.
I'm not strong enough to do that. Probably.
Briny could. Oh, how you broke how you're strong enough? How? Listen to me, buddy. You're strong. I saw you break that thing. You're so super strong. You could definitely listen to me. You could
No,
definitely, you
no,
could throw me. Yeah.
not the.
Yeah. So
Maybe.
next time.
Howard, help me out here.
Nope.
Oh, he's busy.
Nope.
Sorry.
Look, maybe if we got a big strip of cloth and we tied both to like a tree and we both pulled her back.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
would like to be a
Hmm.
participant in that. Yes.
Bryony, how big of an animal can you become?
1/2, I believe. One.
Throw an animal out there.
Like,
Let me. I need to open the thing. I think there's like a reefer shark I can become, and like about that size. My internet's being a little slow, but I'll open it.
Okay.
like if you could be a bear or maybe a moose or
I'm
something.
not to bear yet. I can. Oh wait, yeah, I can do a black bear.
You could probably
Why do you
throw
ask?
her.
Out of curiosity.
Well, you could probably throw her if you're a bear.
Oh my god.
Are you seeing what Otter is suggesting?
Mm-hmm.
I become a bear. I eat the spleen.
Yeet.
Oh my god. Reduce, throw, win. Yes. No. I hate it. I love it.
It might happen now. Thanks, Otter.
Yep.
It's
I
almost,
mean, I'm willing to.
yeah, well, it's definitely something you guys should try on a rest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But not this rest.
Not this rest.
Ah.
All right.
That's
After we
right.
rest, I'll practice the spleen yeet.
Spleen yeet.
That sounds like an Urban Dictionary phrase for something.
Yeah.
One of those back.
I wonder what it would mean.
I could use arcane recovery.
All right, so you guys are taking a short rest then, or are you
Yes.
guys gonna move on?
I'm definitely taking a short rest while they're
Rest.
messing with that griffin.
All right, so
Yeah.
this whole thing, the depulking and harvesting of all these is it takes a good half hour to 45 minutes because some of these procedures do take a little bit of time, and you're trying to find good feathers, and you guys trying to harvest any haunches, legs.
It's not a bad idea. Some meat for the road.
Yep.
Fresh meat's fresh meat.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's already been lightly toasted.
Yeah, it has been quite singed.
And refrigerated.
Yeah.
Freezer burn. Oh, overcooked.
Hey, sometimes we can't be picky.
Meat is meat.
Yep.
All right. I mean, I'm not gonna make you into roll check for that. You guys harvest what you do, and you get a good leg of meat out of it. The rest of it is kind of like too burned to deal with or too bloody to deal with. It's been cut into the wrong places, so you get like chunklets, but not like a full leg. But you got one full leg.
Griffin nuggets.
Griff nuggies. There's something about a traditional nugget that just makes my heart squee. Okay.
And
You
it's
harvest
midday?
the haunches. You guys gonna start moving on, or
Yeah. It's
all right?
midday, right?
It's still
Yeah.
midday. It's about 3
Yeah.
o'clock. You're from when you guys had gone through Menistar. You recognized it was a good couple days away from Menestad itself. So you're about still a day's journey away. You will have to set up camp.
And
Sounds good. Keep trudging along, I suppose, until we need to make camp.
Oh, I see you guys are teaming up with some crazy stuff, some magic.
Yeah, we've always been, well, curious to the point of sometimes danger.
I mean, you can't satiate some of these curiosities. You gotta find out what happens next.
You just have to try and see what happens. You never
Precisely.
Yeah,
know.
Team Icy Hot.
Thank you. Yes.
In fact, Bryony, we should talk about what kinds of spells you can do at some point. See what kinds of things we can come up with. Hal and I have been working together for quite a long time, but it'd be interesting to add another person in.
Sure, I'm down to
Threesome.
brainstorm.
Magic threesome! Woo!
Mm, technically, yes, she's not wrong.
What are y'all thinking?
Magically.
That... Oh, okay. Yeah, you made a face. I hope you're not having any dirty thoughts.
Nope.
'Cause I am.
Definitely not. Nope.
Well, nerds, I may think it's kind of cool, I guess.
Going to be more than
Hold
kind
on.
of cool here soon, I assure you.
Don't worry, we're going to expand our repertoire and enable you to do more shenanigans.
Ah, I can handle myself.
I'm not saying you can't, but isn't it so much more fun when you can do so much more?
No.
So you don't like Dragon's Breath?
I
Is she within
I didn't
arm's
say
reach?
it was. I didn't say it was less fun. I didn't say it's less fun. I just said didn't say it was more fun. It can be neutral fun.
Is she within arm's reach?
That's up to you guys.
No.
How you...
Well, I guess walking in a.
I'm
Yeah, you
just
guys-
gonna
you're-
try to reach around behind her without her noticing and tap her on the back with a first level Dragon's Breath.
All right. Make a sleight of hand check. And I guess Spleen, make a perception check.
15.
9.
Spleen, you do not see this whatsoever.
But you start exhaling lightning again.
You start naturally exhaling, and as you do, you feel the power and invigoration that you had felt before during the fight before you had raged, and you notice a couple of the sparks just.
You've got a minute. Go nuts.
No, I'm not actually.
Really? 30 seconds.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
No! What is this? What is my wisdom? Well, that doesn't matter because that's a natural one.
You're trying to resist. You're trying to resist. You're trying to resist. Fuck it. Scree!
Yeah. Just straight up in the air.
Yeah.
Just for the whole time, the whole 30 seconds. Just screaming.
Yeah. Just a. If it wasn't for your constitution check, constitution stat, I would have made you roll to see how long you can throw your breath.
I'm just imagining we're walking down and she's essentially one of those fountain fireworks.
Except it rains fire and destruction, not loveliness.
I went with lightning just in case. We didn't want to set anything on fire.
I mean, lightning does catch things on fire, and especially if there's rain around for the last couple days. It's lucky that you're in a clearing, not underneath a set of trees that are over thatched.
Better than acid, poison, or fire that might rain back down on us.
That would have been a fountain right there.
I know, I was like,
that would be rough.
Feel better?
Oh.
Man.
Oh, yeah. So you guys are walking along, and you make another good. Oh, by that time, yeah, you make another 5 mile. You guys walk a fair distance, but you're coming to a side of the road where it's just open, but there's trees everywhere. I know I'm not describing this quite well. My brain thoughts are not helping me right now.
Okay, we do it good.
Clearing?
There is a clearing right next to a bunch of fields, and you see a bunch of trees that are thatched over top, so you know that this is probably a good spot. These trees are about 20 to 30 feet high, so any sort of fire that you make, you instinctively know that you're not gonna catch these things on fire. It's a good spot to camp as any, really.
Alright, we're going over there. Camp time.
Alright.
Fine by me.
I'll get a fire started.
You get the fire started, you guys start doing your normal procedures. Your clothing is quite torn and dirtied. Anything to do to mending and cleaning?
Mending it once the fire is going.
Could we use spleen to start the fire?
Oh, I'd have to cast the spell again.
Oh, never mind. I didn't know if she still had it on her and we could just like hold her up.
Hey,
It's just do the thing.
Unfortunately, only lasts a minute.
Just smack the bottom of her feet like a ketchup bottle. Just spew the fire out.
Yeah, get the last little sparks out.
I'm just loving this visual. Spleen the ketchup bottle. The ketchup bottle of fire and lightning.
Yeah. No ketchup packet.
That's basically what Dragon's Breath is. It's just a ketchup packet of lightning.
Hal, I have a question that I
Sir.
should have thought about before we left town. How much paper and ink you got on you?
Oh, let me check. Well, I have a single sheet of parchment.
Ah, shit. Should have grabbed some of that before we left. That way we could put a new spell in that book of yours.
I mean, yeah, I do have the ink for it at least.
We've got a few pages. Probably not enough.
No.
But if nothing else, you could keep an eye on me, get a head start on it, and I'm gonna start casting alarm around us.
You start ritually casting alarm. You do everything that you normally do. The silver wire. Is it the silver wire that does that?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, silver wire. You wrap it around your thumb. You start doing the incantation. You start laying it all the way around. It sets. It sets and it magically vanishes into a difficult perception. You do that. Uh, Bryony, doing anything special?
Um, I am working on mending my clothes that are in various states of disarray.
And you do so. It'll take a good 10 minutes of setting everything up and getting the right stitching in the spots, and so you're setting everything up and you're taking your sinew and the linens and you're just getting all your repairs done up.
Bryony, you sure you don't want me to just hit that up for you? It's
What,
not.
the mending?
Yeah. It's pretty easy.
It's fine, I got it.
Alright.
Years in the swamp teaches you things.
Yeah, you don't know how many times. Like, I don't think there's any of the original thread left on my garments. It's just all repairs.
Patchwork like crazy.
Oh god, she's a druidic cosplayer.
Don't
Yeah,
call me out.
Yeah, your cottagecore style is looking a little rough right now, but it's okay. You know how to make it look good.
Now it's shack core.
Shackcore.
It's shabby chic.
Shabby chic.
Gabby. The night starts going on. You guys are quite hungry. I'm assuming you guys have roasted up that haunch.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Any sort of flavoring spices that you brought along with you? A little home packet of good stuff.
I took this from the cupboard at one point. It was someone referred to it as Mrs. Dash. No? No.
Is
Was
it
it?
any good?
It's
No,
basically salt.
Wow.
It helps if nothing else.
And if you guys look around, you might actually find some good things to season with.
I've got grass.
I.
uh,
We could try
don't-
it.
uh,
I'm down.
I
Um,
look around me and notice there is some clover and some lemongrass growing. And those can just kind of be ripped up with your hands and tossed on whatever you want.
And you do just that. You immediately know that it's there and what it is. And given the climate and whatnot, it's ripe in around the area.
And I'm still mending, so I like barely look up, just like snatch.
You use your grasping vines to do the work for you
Yeah,
as you're mending.
I like that.
I just like
Awesome.
toss it.
Yep. So you guys have a spit set up and you're letting it roast. You shucked the fur that was off of it, for lack of a better word at this moment in time. But you add the seasoning, you add the Mrs. Dash to it, lemongrass on top, and yeah, you definitely see a clove. It's a bit wet, but it'll do. It'll dry up as it's cooking. It roasts. And after about a couple hours of it doing that, you notice that the outside is crackling and crisping really good. You see the grease coming right off of it.
Mm.
You recognize it's ready to go.
Time, take it off. Take it off, take it off.
Right.
It's delicious.
Those Griffin nuggies. Them's good eating.
Yeah, and so you take a bite right into it, and it tastes kind of bitter. Tastes kind of bitter. The seasoning. It's not because of the seasoning, but you might think because predatory creatures don't exactly have the best beat sometimes. But you also know that it's still like very flavorful, savory. It's just a bit bitter, a bit tough, but it's nothing nothing deterring. It'd just be a tough meal at this point.
Something. Hunger is the best spice. Something.
Had worse.
Spleen.
The best thing ever.
I have to thank you for keeping your cool in town. When that guard captain decided you being you and calling the mayor a dipshit was justification for striking a civilian. With a gauntleted hand, no less. And I'm gonna ask, if that happens again, try not to get yourself arrested, because I probably will. I learned in the military I don't have the greatest of respect for those in positions of power who abuse that power. And he seems like the type who does it. It's not okay to be randomly striking the people that you protect or are supposed to protect. Now, that being said, I know you, and sometimes you are someone who is absolutely someone that should be struck. However,
He stops eating. Looks at you.
Just mid haunch. Just
let's face it, you're one chaotic person. However, you didn't do anything that warranted being attacked.
Honestly, it's more of a greeting than anything else.
Not in civilization, it's not.
But you gotta understand what I am.
His prejudice means nothing to me.
You. But to everyone around, they see this and they think
I don't care what they think either.
the worst. Which is fine. I'm fine with that. But I don't want them to think the worst thing for is Goblin. That's it. Goblin. Tired of that. And maybe I am feeding into the damn stereotype. Big word. But It's not a big deal. I mean, he gets away with a freebie.
For now, he does.
If he puts his hands on any of you, or anyone puts their hands on any of you. Who knows what will happen?
Like I said,
In me, I could take a hit. I'm used to having to take a hit. It's been like that since I took my first breath.
well, I hope to change that, because you shouldn't have to be like that.
No, I encourage it. I want it. I want to hurt. I want to be hit.
Why?
I want them to need to hit me. To feel threatened by me. To feel like they're in danger when they see me. Not look down on me. I want them to feel like they've been backed in a corner right when I enter the room.
You're already a force of nature.
Not enough. I almost got taken down today.
So did we all. But you took that one on alone. It took the three of us to fend off the other two. And you still got the killing blow.
Not after you guys really hurting it. But back there with it, I actually felt desperate.
That's not a new feeling to me. You
Nor
see it a
me.
lot in combat.
Goblin are weak. They're pawns. Things to use. I never want to be used. I never want to feel weak. I don't want to feel like the only way for me to survive is that I can't rely on my own because a goblin by itself is doomed to die.
I think you already stand as evidence that that's false. Spleen,
I wholeheartedly agree.
I choose what I use carefully. Don't always make the best decisions, no one ever does. But I wouldn't cast the spells on you that I do if I didn't have the faith that you would pull through. I cast the spells on you that I do because I know you're strong. And I know that I can make you even stronger.
It's just strange right now for me, because for a while I was alone. I wanted to be alone. I wanted to prove that I could do it. And fuck them. Let them all die in a hole. They could die together. But I'll survive alone. But now I'm realizing it's weird. Because being with you guys, that's not alone. I'm not hating it.
How about this?
It's just it's butting heads with my thoughts, and it confuses me. Cause I like fighting with you, and I like doing stuff with you, and you guys piss me off. Ow, let's take some more bites.
You may not realize it, but you have proven that you are able to survive on your own. But don't discount the ability to thrive with friends. Survival is one thing, thriving is another.
Friends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else would we
Yes.
call you?
It's just a little smile. A smile break. It's just a little turn up in the mouth, but she grimaces and. You'll
Well-
know that it's a mistake to be a friend with me.
It hasn't been so
All I
far.
bring is
Protection.
death.
How many times have
Well,
you
raised to
saved my
survive
life?
on my own too. I was raised not to trust anyone I saw other than my parents and myself, and now look at me. 3 whole friends. Well, you're pretty short. 2.5 whole friends.
I mean, I can make her larger if you
Wow,
need,
Maggie.
temporarily.
I don't want to go through that again.
Yeah. It's nice. You know, Briny, because you're, I guess, similar. Being a loner and a weirdo. You're weird. That's probably why I'm really drawn to you as well. And then you got these 2 nerds. I mean, you're a nerd too, but these 2 book nerds. I would have never thought I would be in this situation or even talk to you 2.
Because
Glad you
we're
did.
nerds.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you like dress all nice.
I don't know if I'd call it nice, but it's better than nothing.
Tidy is nice. For me.
Don't get
I suppose.
arrested. That's totally like not your scene. You won't do well in prison.
Are you suggesting that I can't fight?
No. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've never. You want to fight?
No, that's not what I was suggesting. No.
I mean, I feel like you could probably get a punch or 2 in, but like, look at you.
I mean, I could also just set them on fire, and they're
Oh,
not
that's true.
likely to bother me again.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but what if they have like, you know, no magic area? You know,
That's possible.
then what?
Taps the sword.
Oh,
But
well,
I'm
they
not
take away
useless
the-
without my magic. I'm not nearly as good as you are.
In prison, they're not gonna let you have weapons.
I don't only
You can
use
make
weapons.
your own.
I can always make do.
Yeah.
If nothing else, it comes down to a fist fight. Elves are pretty nimble.
There's one thing that I'm really trying to fight. The instinct is goblins like clans. It is. I guess it's just something that it's been in our nature for so long. I'm trying to fight it. But I don't know if I should fight it, you know? A clan doesn't have to be goblins.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I'll make a clan with you nerds. Ew.
Too late.
Why not?
That's commitment. I don't know how to run those things.
What do we have to run? It's just the 4 of us.
No. Yeah. Not I really hope it's not the mayor. That's not fair.
Yeah, that would be very strange.
We'll just keep away from Berwick. How's that sound?
Sound fun, but fine. If it keeps you from getting arrested.
I didn't say I guaranteed would, but I might.
Oh, hey, we have the bag of devouring. We can just kill him and then put him in the bag.
I wouldn't want to take it that far, but it is a last resort if truly necessary.
Just
I say she's
Fargo him.
talking sense.
Just
You guys
Fargo
may have
him
told
into
me
the bag
your
of
plan, but my
devouring.
circle of trust ends here.
Oh, fine. Brady, I'm gonna break you out of your shell. No, I will. I know you got a little psycho in there. You know what they say? The pretty ones are, no, wait. It's watch out for the quiet ones. Watch it. Yeah.
They do say that. For good reason.
I mean, you saw her turn into a badger. That was cute.
Mm-hmm.
It's cute.
Not sure where you're going with that.
Next time you should be like an ostrich. Oh, can you turn into a vulture?
Bryony, make a nature check.
I think I could do a vulture. I'm not sure about ostrich.
It's
And I'm afraid to ask why.
ostriches are land creatures. Vultures can fly. You're not able to do flying creatures at this level yet. Just
Oh, you're right. Well, I got a 13 for nature.
you're trying to remember if you've ever spotted a vulture. Traveled a lot, but
I've seen vultures before.
you've seen vultures before.
Have you seen a bearded vulture? You know those, you know those bearded vultures? The ones with the crazy eyes and like sometimes they have gold feathers or really red feathers, and sometimes they get stained by blood, and they eat bones, and they're really cool, and they have big talons, and they can fly.
Maybe once before.
Are you able to turn into that?
Why?
I really like them.
You just
He
want to
wants your
see a vulture?
bones.
Yeah. I really like them. They're my spirit animal.
Oh?
You know. You guys don't have those?
Not
All right,
that
I
I'm
won't be
aware
able
of.
to fly. But I think, if I remember correctly, it looked something like this. And
As you do, you immediately shape in the wild shape form. It's almost like it's basically an Animorphs transformation, but it's super quick. It's not like It's not like where you get like that.
Ah, I hate him.
I was thinking, I always pictured it like a puff of smoke, but that's because I'm a big fan of Fruit
Naruto.
Basket.
Oh, Fruit Basket. Yeah,
It's like,
I was thinking of like.
but I like JT's idea better.
Where
Animal.
literally it's like it is quite literally a transformation of the body, but it's a natural transformation. So it just
Hmm.
goes in super quick. Describe what your vulture looks like
Mm.
as you stuff tortellini in your face.
Sorry, I'm really hungry. This is like
At,
my first
Mhm.
real meal of the day.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
eat up.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was eating earlier.
So
Just
I
keep
will be
going.
right back.
All right, well, my face starts elongating until it forms a beak. My shoulders scrunch back and start growing feathers until they form into wings. My torso and legs shrink until I'm about the size of a bearded vulture, and my feet elongate into claws. And I am a bearded vulture, and just kind of like sitting there looking around. I do a little hop because I can't fly.
and
My God.
you do those basic like moonwalk hops where you're just like
Mm.
you're trying to flap your wings, but it's just not working. It's for some reason you just so you're getting like little puffs off the ground, but that's about it.
Um, Spleen's freaking out, and gonna pick up Briny and be like, flap, flap. Yeah, I'll make you fly. I'm just running around and she's flapping. Oh my God. Just she's petty. Her hold is very, very gentle, almost like cradling and not trying to hurt you or offend you. Almost like she kind of forgot it's you.
It still has a cute little hat on. It's a little cottagecore hat.
Oh, so she's it's almost like idol worship the way that she's handling you.
My feathers are still a little ruffled, and I look a little disgruntled from being picked up and manhandled.
Mhm. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. Is that she just is holding, letting you grip onto her arm and perch there, and just looking at you with this odd expression. Wow, it's so beautiful. I love bearded vultures. It's been so long since I've seen one. Uh, uh, uh yeah, thank you, Briny. Just gonna help you get down. Are you seriously, guys? You don't have your spirit animals?
Not that I know of.
Mm,
How would I
not that I'm
know?
aware now.
Oh, Hal has a spirit animal. He's just a completely different beast.
Not, not anything that flies. Oh, I think.
Well, Briny, it seems like she's got a lot of spirit animals. Badger,
Perhaps our spirit animals were the
probably a
friends we
cute
made along the
frog.
way.
Speaking of, how do you feel about telling them about NC?
Oh, well,
Who's that? Is that your dad?
the no. He is a close friend who, uh, well, he went missing, And I've been trying to track down how and where he went. You may remember some of the one of the other tieflings, one of the other nerds. The red one seems to.
Oh, the one that doesn't like me,
Yeah.
Yes, Jarok. He.
jack off.
He believes I'm to blame, uh, which just I need to find out what happened. I need to, and I just need more information. I can't find anything when I go to mages to scry. I all I have. He pauses for another moment or two. Uh, all I have is this locket, and it belonged to him. I don't know. It I can't open it. No one can even see inside it. And we just need to find someone with a strong enough magical power to help us get a clue as to how to track him down. This is the best. He holds it. This is the best.
I waddle over, still in vulture form, and peck at it a few times.
And maybe it's not like a magic thing. Maybe you just need to have strong fingers. Thank you. Yeah, give it here.
Uh,
I won't
he
break
will
it.
reluctantly give it.
She's
So
gonna take off her clawed glove gauntlet thing. It's just something that goes over her left hand that just it's not like an actual weapon, not Freddy Krueger style, but it's just something that goes over just a little bit of extension of claws. There's like some buckles there, and she takes that off. And she's got like a gauntlet here. It's got some just fur, just leather wrappings with some fur.
Yep.
But that doesn't come off with the glove. Just to help with some better feeling. Just gotta try to open it up.
make a strength check.
So 21.
21. You feel pretty confident that you could probably pry this apart. You get your hands in there and you're just you get your teeth and sunk in on the seam.
You just hear him go, or see him in the background going,
It's not budging.
Ow! Nope, it isn't. It's magic.
You hand it back and there's a bit of goblin slobber on it, a couple dents from the tooth.
well, thank you for checking at least.
You're welcome.
That's
So NC
NC.
yes.
Yes.
NC North Carolina.
Oh, Lord.
That's
Let's see. What do they look like?
Well, he was short for an elf. Feel like
Elf.
maybe he had some sort of tiefling blood in him, but never talked about it. Blonde hair, reddish brown eyes. sort of a roundish face. He wasn't. You tend to refer to me as a fancy pants. He wasn't quite as fancy pants as
He's
me.
okay pants.
Sure, that's yes. But good-natured, smart.
He's a friend to your friend. What?
Yes, he was one of my friends. We shared a room together at the academy, and
That's a. Oh, it's your lover.
no, we were roommates.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
You beat me to it. Oh my god, you're roommates. Where I'm from, that's called marriage. No,
Okay, well, where I'm from, it's not. So
I'm joking. The marriage doesn't exist. Where I'm from. First come, first
Noted.
serve.
Also noted.
So, okay, so Jerry was there, and then the other dude that was
Elvis.
oh
Elvis.
nice Elvis.
Close enough.
We were all classmates.
Oh my
And-
god, they were classmates.
Oh my. I just could see Brian just be like, "Oh my god!" Actually saying
Oh my god, this is a serious moment.
Oh.
Guys.
And Howard was there.
I was.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Oh,
He was not a roommate.
No.
I see chemistry right now, though. That's a big word, but so NC, was there anything special about him?
Special. He was a good student.
I don't know. Why
From
is he
what I
gone?
could tell.
Why would he be gone? Did he get up and leave, or was he taken?
We were studying. He got up to do something I can't even remember. And when I went to check on him, he was gone. He was. Why am I fussing on that now? May have just been going to the restroom. Something odd happened. But
Something odd happened? Like you witnessed something odd, or somebody else witnessed something odd?
no one witnessed anything. It just felt odd that he got up. And when I went to check on where he'd been after a few minutes, the only thing that we could find was that he had put this locket down, or dropped it, or something.
Has he worn that locket before?
Yes, he mentioned at some point that it was an heirloom. Didn't. I haven't spoken to his family about it yet because I worry they would also blame me.
Blame me
under the
for what?
circumstances. For
You
his
went to the bathroom.
disappearance.
Why would they blame you? How would you know? What, did you know? Did you know it was gonna
The
happen?
same reason Jarok blames me.
He fucking blames you?
Mm,
Are you kidding me? Why would... Then blame him. Why didn't he do anything? Huh? Why didn't he do anything? He hasn't done
He
anything.
wasn't there.
Well, then what?
He just doesn't believe me.
I'll make him believe it. I could do that.
He's fairly hard.
I'm
Right.
really good at knocking some sense into people. And maybe if I punch him hard enough, maybe he'll, I don't know, something in his brain will click.
I appreciate the attempt, but I doubt he is. He's
For the actions
unfortunately
of somebody
strong-willed.
else. I'm strong-willed too. See, the thing is
But
that
you are.
you shouldn't. For other people's actions, you shouldn't be blamed for that. How did you like? Unless you controlled it or you knew something was gonna happen. But yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't think that way. Freaking Gerald. I don't like him.
Well,
You should have spanked him, Goose.
I have.
No, you should have spanked him. You threatened to spank him. Should have done it in front of everyone.
I have.
Do it again, harder. Did you use spikes?
No, I would have been kicked out. Probably.
you would have liked to see it.
I know where we can find some.
I'm sure you do.
All right, so okay. You're looking for NC.
NC, yes.
Howard's
Helping.
gonna get arrested. Oh, okay. Oh, that wasn't a thing. We're not. Oh, I thought we were playing. I
Oh,
wanted
I'm
to
not.
see if you could survive in prison.
I hadn't planned on it.
Riney, you're trying to stop the apocalypse. What are you doing? Like what is your goal in life?
I turn back into my regular human form. Well, really, I'm just waiting out the till we get to the third rapture.
I am worried and curious about what that entails.
First two have already happened, you see.
Let's say the first two happened.
We just weren't worthy.
What?
Of.
Wait. Okay, first of all, what is the rapture?
It's like an end of the world spleen.
So there was two end of the worlds, but we still have a world. Or is it like is it like a pie where there's a slice of the end and then you get another slice of the end and another slice of the end until you get to a whole empty end? Or is it only big 3 slices? What? Okay, so what?
Hi.
Oh my god.
Well, there are endless possibilities for the end of the world, and so many apocalypses that can happen. I was told in the third rapture only the true believers would come up. And basically the world, and whoever's left on it is left to ruin.
Oh. Go
I
up to where?
I'm sorry? Your mic cut out for me a little.
Go up to where?
To the everlasting. They're
this
magnificent
does
golden fields that only the purest of heart can obtain. I see you taking notes.
I know.
That sounds lame.
It's supposed to be beautiful.
Just a big yellow field. What do you do?
Mm,
You
I mean, it sounds like she's never been yet.
yet.
I, how do you know? Like, how do you know it's a field? Like, if they go, do they come back? Are you able to, like, I don't know, take a trip there and come back?
No, once you go, you never come back.
Then how do you know? Like, how do you know it's a field? What if it's a yellow cave?
Well,
What if people don't like fields and they're like, this is eternal, everlasting hell? And they want a yellow cave.
well, it's meant to be nice. And when my parents passed away, they said that's where they went. So I would like to believe it's a nice place.
Wait, hold on. Wait, what? If they died and they told you after they died?
No, they told me before they died that that's where they were going, and I'll meet them there someday.
How did they die?
There are some illnesses you find when you live on your own that no medicines can help. The whole family caught it. We were bedridden. I did my best to take care of them, and after a week, I got better and they didn't.
Oh,
I'm sorry to hear that.
Death is a natural part of life, and I'll meet them again someday.
well. Well, I hope you enjoy your field.
I hope so too.
I, for one, want to go to hell, and I want to fight the demon lords there for fun.
Somehow, I don't think I could expect anything else from you.
They say that there's
Mm.
like there's a lot of different levels or something, and
Well, the golden field of the afterlife provides the golden field of the everlasting provides whatever you want. So if you want your everlasting to be constant fighting, then I guess they can do that.
not really. I guess constant fight is more like conquering, everlasting. Doom Spleen Edition. I come in and the demons are like, fuck. Doom guy. Huh. Well, this whole fire thing sure feels like it's a big plan of a rapture. And you even recognized it.
I didn't. That's the weird part. Ever since leaving my parents' house, everything I've seen is nothing like they've told me it would be.
What do you mean?
Well, the bad things I've run into, they weren't in the books. I had to figure them out myself. I had to fight myself. I had to figure out how to get out of situations by myself. And not every single person, even unbelievers, are really bad. You guys aren't bad, right?
Not the last time I checked.
I try not to be.
It depends on the day.
I know it's a little hit or miss, but generally, you aren't trying to bring about the end of the world, right?
No.
No.
Certainly not.
Isn't the world
Interesting.
flat? There is an end to it. It's flat.
Question for another time.
Yeah, I'm not touching that one.
Lena's a flat earther.
We can teach you all about that subject, spleen, if you really like.
How much do you think
No.
she'll retain?
You really need to beat it into me. I don't. I learned better hands-on.
That would take a while.
So don't do that. It's flat.
Well, I can just imagine this goblin school system is like, oh, teacher got the learning stick. She's gonna hit us good today.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Literally smack some sense into you.
Goblins, like huskies, will do whatever they want until they're stubbornly broken. And scream in the process.
That makes me think of a video. I'm trying to teach the husky to lay down. God.
Alright, distracting the purpose. My apologies.
No, you're fine.
I gotta hydrate.
Oh, we gotta hydrate.
I think so.
I don't see one.
I don't
Oh, Twitch is prompting me to give you guys a
Well,
hydrate.
we got it now.
There you go.
Okay,
Bye.
Twitch.
Alright.
I think it was saying that you have enough points to
It was.
unlock it and spend it.
Probably.
Yeah, it did that earlier.
There we go.
But y'all go ahead.
Well, Briny, stick with us. If this is the next rapture, we'll see if we can't stop it. If that's okay with you.
We've stopped everything so far. More or
Some by
less.
the skin of our teeth.
Or skin of our skin. Ugh.
And with that,
Just too much words. I'm going to sleep.
and with that, it's been a long day. You guys are sore. Even though magically healing does heal, you still feel the sore. You're still feeling it. And with the meat sitting in the right spot, it's full. The night, there's a cool wind in the air where it's starting to be really chilly. Oddly, on usually warm nights of the midsummer, but it's relaxing, actually. It helps you sleep better. And with all of y'all taking your rest, doing your watches, watching over one of each other, it's a good time for reflection on all of you guys for what you've just talked about. And with that, we're going to wrap up session. I want to thank everybody for sticking out with us, enjoying a good combat and some good RP with it. I want to thank D&D Beyond for giving us a platform to use our character sheets. I want to thank Heath the Lucky Dice Cafe for giving us the opportunity to role play here, and for him to do this in real life. If you're ever in Huntsville, Alabama, please go on by and check him out. He's 100% worth it. And we're still in a pandemic here. We need to social distance, wash your hands, wear your mask, and just remember to love one another. This is a hard time for everybody. No need to be an asshole about it. And with that, I gotta ask you the question: do you dare to imagine? Have yourselves a good night.
Have you ever fought a dragon and stormed its mountain lair? Have you ever killed a vampire and seen the evil in its lair? Have you ever sought adventure and couldn't find it anywhere? Well, here's the answer to your call. We're gonna die of it. Adventure company. Come leave behind all your cares. Come with me and see what's out there. If you wanna be a hero or a demon in disguise, if you wanna steal a spaceship and sail across the endless skies, if you wanna live a story and you're down to have some fun, come on and join the Dire Bears. There's a game for everyone. Come leave behind all your cares. Come with me and see what's out there.